JanBask Training. Learn and grow.
So today we'll proceed with KNN. What is K? The basic intro before moving forward, I can tell you, like, if you see the right hand side, okay, there are data points. There are two types of data points. One is triangle, another one is square. Okay, so the K nearest neighbor, what it does, K means it stands for, okay, suppose for the time being you take it, K will be replaced by a number. K can be 3, K can be 4, K can be 5. Means K can be 3, 5, 7, 9, like that. Okay, mostly we take the odd number for the K. And we can take there is no restriction, we can take the K equal to 10 also. If you see the right hand side, okay, a small circle is there and a larger circle is there. Okay, so in the small circle there are two triangles and one square, whereas in larger circle there are four squares and three triangles and one question mark. Okay, assume that all these are data points. Okay, so squares are a type of data point, triangle is another type of data point. Okay, so what K neighbor nearest neighbor stands, sub and question mark is the data point, or it's the test data point you have given. Okay, so what the K means, you have to identify the type of class for this question mark. Okay, assume that square is class 0 and triangle is class 1. Okay, so what it does, if you have given K equal to 3, then it will search for its 3 nearest neighbor. Okay, which data points are very close to, which 3 data points lie very close to the question mark. Okay, if you see in the smallest circle, it has taken two triangles and one square, so it has identified the 3 nearest neighbor. The question may be, how will it identify? For identifying, we check the distances. Okay, so which are 3 nearest distances, and we identify that group. Now the second part, first part, you have identified the 3 nearest neighbor, because why? Because you have given K equal to 3. Okay, and the second part, it checks for the majority of the class. If you see in the smallest circle, okay, the majority of the class is triangle. Okay, so the data point will be given the class of triangle, and we have assumed class of triangle is 0. Okay, so that means instead of the question mark, the class will be assigned as 0. Likewise, if you have given K equal to 7, okay, then the question mark is your test data point, or the data point you want to predict the class. Okay, and these are the given classes. Okay, means already the data point is already being classified as square and triangle, for assume that all these are data points. Now you have given K equal to 7. Okay, then the question mark will search for is 7 nearest neighbor. Okay, that is the largest circle. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the question mark will search for the largest 7 nearest neighbor. Okay, how will it identify? Same process, go for the distances check. Okay, which are the 7 nearest neighbors in terms of distances, it will identify. The first part is over. Now it will check for the majority. If you see, the squares are in the majority, 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas in triangles are in minority. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So the question mark here, when you give K equal to 7, it will identify the class as the square. So this is the idea of the K nearest neighbor. How will you classify a new data point? Okay, it belongs to which class. It is class 0 or class 1. That is determined by the nearest neighbor. Okay, we are going to go through the introduction part. Next is k nearest neighbor and what is the impact of k, choosing the right k. Okay, notion of distance. Okay, and goodness of fit, advantages, disadvantages. So with the introduction, this is one of the machine learning algorithm used for both classification and regression problems. Okay, there are two classes, means functions are there in k nearest neighbor. You can do the classification as well as the regression part also. How? Means with the same function, there are two functions are there in the sklearn. One is called knn classifier that will do the classification for you, and another one is the knn regressor which will do the regression for you. So we'll go through the classification. KNN, as it is commonly known as the non-parametric method. Okay, what is parametric and what is non-parametric? Okay, so suppose we will import KN, okay, classifier. Okay. From the sklearn, we will import the KNN classifier. Okay, and it is some function we have. This is the function we have imported, and we have make it suppose kc. Okay, kc equal to this thing. Likewise, we have done the linear regression we have imported yesterday, and we have made it any variable equal to that one, and we pass some function. I told you, like if you right click here, putting the cursor here, you shift and tab key, you will find that what all the parameters the function will take. Okay, in your Jupyter notebook. So KNN is called non-parametric. That means there is no fixed thing you have to pass. Okay, parametric is that if a function requires a specific thing has to be passed. That's what is called parametric. That parameter you have to pass. Non-parametric is that you have given all the choices for the options. Suppose what it will take obviously the k value. Okay, you have to pass k equal to 3 for suppose you have passed, and what else it will, this function will take, it will take the distances, which type of distances you want to take. For calculating the distance, there are 3-4 distances are there. Okay, that will go through. So these are the parameters, but these are not the fixed parameters. At one time you can give k equal to 3, the other time you can give k equal to 5. One time you can give k distance equal to Manhattan distance, it's called Manhattan, one of the city, the L2 distance, L2. We'll go through all this. Okay, so if you see, there are no fixed things to be passed. It depends on the data scientist or the model whosoever is building. So that's why it's called non-parametric. KNN is one of the simplest of all machine learning algorithms. K is the number of nearest neighbor we wish to take a vote from the prediction of the value class for the new observation. So KNN is a non-parametric and instance-based lazy machine learning approach. Come to what is non-parametric. A non-parametric algorithm does not make any assumption about the form of mapping function, that is function that maps x to y. They are free to learn from any form from the training data. So instance-based machine learning, our algorithm doesn't learn any model explicitly. It memorizes the training data and uses the same for making the prediction on new data. Okay, that means it's not fixed. If the data point changes, then obviously the result will change. And the lazy learning, no learning of model is required, and all the work happens at the time of prediction. Like when you give knn classifier dot fit, then only entire distances, suppose you want to find the distances here for this point, and there are points are like this. These are the cross. Okay, and another data point is called plus. Okay, so you have given k equal to 5, then it will identify those 5 nearest points based on the distances. Okay, what is the distance from here, from here? Suppose another data point is there here, another one is there here. So what it will do, it will search for the all the distances, okay, first, then it will identify which are the 5 nearest points in terms of distance, and it will identify that cluster. Is it still supervised learning? Yes, it is. It falls under the supervised learning algorithm. That means, what is supervised learning? If you remember, I told you supervised learning means these are the x1, x2, x3 values you have given, and in depending those x values, the y value is also given. Okay, assume that this is x1, this is x2, this is x3. Okay, these features are there and these are the records. Okay, like this is for the first person or first record, this is second, this is third, like that it's given, and based on that these values are also given. Okay, for first, for second, for third. So it's called the supervised. In supervised, it's given that y value is also given. So understanding pictorially that whatever I told you till this point, the same thing we are going to see here. Let's take the simple example and go with k equal to 3. Okay, you would be wondering why we are taking k equal to 3, 5, 9, 7 like that, because you will get a clear majority. If you take 5 numbers, then obviously there could, and 2 classes, then obviously there could be a majority for the one class. Okay, because if you do all the number and there are 2 classes, right? So 7 by 2, obviously it is actually it's 3.5, but there are 2 classes are cannot be a float integer, then obviously one could be 2 5 or 1 6. Suppose 7 I have taken, 3 4. So that's why we are taking a odd value. Normally we are going for the vote, which class is having the more majority in the cluster or in the nearest identified numbers. That's why we are taking a k value is always a odd value. Okay, okay, suppose for the given example there are 2 records, okay, we have taken, and there are 3 features. We will extend it to 3. Okay, just try to understand. Okay, here the first thing you have got, one is the income of a person. Income is the first attribute, suppose, and the second attribute is called the years of experience. Okay, okay, and the third one is whether that person is having credit card or not. Okay, these 3 things in the data, it's being given to you. Okay, that person is having credit card or not. So income could be any number, it is given here. Okay, experience also a number. Experience means job experience, huh? Okay, professional experience. And the third one is credit card. So credit card could be yes or no. This one could be yes. For the first person, he is using credit card, so it's a yes. For the second one, he is not using a credit card, so it's no, like that. Okay, and for the first person, the income could be suppose 25k and experience could be around 6 years, so like that. On that basis, the bank identified, bank sells loan to the first person, that is 1. He will repay, yes, so yes is class 1. The second person, he is having a salary of suppose 3k, and he is having a experience of around 5 years. Okay, and he is not using a credit card, and then the bank has identified no. So your question may be from where you will get this data set. Okay, this data set will be given by customers based on the previous records. Before building any machine learning model, the first requirement is the getting the data set. The data set you will get it from your customers. They have the records, right? From so many years they are running their bank. So on the basis of the previous history, they have given loans to so many people. Okay, you as a data scientist, you have to check all the algorithms, you have to run the logistic regression on this. Okay, then you have to run the KNN on this. Okay, to identify which algorithm is best fit for this data set. Okay, it's not that you can do only one classification and you will say, okay, my accuracy is this much, so I will go with this algorithm only. No, you have to check with all the algorithms available. Three algorithms we normally use. So one is logistic KNN, another one is SVM, that will come later. So in the KNN, what basically the function does, that we have to understand. First of all, the KNN is not a probability output. Okay, that means in the Y you will get either 1 or 0. Okay, 1 0 1 0 like this. Okay, so you will not get any probability here. Probability means 0 to 1. Like in logistic, you will see in the hands-on that you will get a probability value of 0 to 1. KNN, you will get a class output, that is either 0 or 1. So how the KNN work? That's the point. Okay, suppose if you put all these points, Y values, okay, there are ones or zeros, right? So this could be plus, or okay, make it 0 1. Okay, this thing, you no requirement to do all this. The package will do the work for you. Only you have to understand what the package is doing, then only it would be easy for you to apply it. Classifier will build the model for you. It's a one line import classifier. Only one line you have to write it, then the model is built. If you put it, those values, Y values 1 0 1 0, into a visually or graphically plot, then you will see that some points would be 0, some points would be 1. Okay, and here it comes a new data point. Okay, new data point means you want to classify, suppose for the record number 100. Okay, you have given 99 records for the building your model, and after building the model, obviously the bank want to test. So a new customer has come, income is suppose 4k. Okay, and experience is around 7 years. He is not having a credit card. Okay, credit card no. And bank wants to, before giving sanctioning the loan, bank wants to check whether this person will repay or not with the model built by you. Okay, so it's a new data point. This record number 100 is a new data point, means a test data point. The bank wants to check with your model, so that means it's a question mark. So and you have applied KNN. So what it will do, once you give your k equal to, suppose here you have given k equal to 5. Okay, so you have given k equal to 5. So what it will do, it will give you k values. What it will do, it will check the nearest neighbors. This question mark, this test data point will identify its 5 nearest neighbor. You have plotted 0 1 0 1 all the values, right? With the distances it will check. Okay, you have given the distances what you want, so on that distances it will check and identify the 5 numbers or 5 data points. If you see here, what is the majority? 0 3 0 and 2 ones, then the majority is 0. That means you are predicting this person will not repay. Here the orange circle and blue circles, blue crosses, are two types of the observation that may happen in the data, that is 0 or 1. Okay, for the time being. If I get a new observation, that is the green triangle. Okay, what would be its class? So likewise, so what the nearest neighbor does, we find that the encircled area contains the three nearest neighbor of the green triangle. You have given k equal to 3, it will identify three nearest neighbors. Let's gather votes from these three neighbors. Okay, majority vote, if you see 3 is given, then obviously there will be a clear majority. Hence, the KNN algorithm predicts that the new observation would be the red circle. So these are the steps for the KNN. It boils down to forming the majority vote between the most similar k nearest neighbors of a new individual. As I told you, it will always be the majority vote. That's why we are choosing k is a odd number, k equal to 3, 5, 7, like, so that you will get a majority vote. Okay, the steps are: choose the value of k. Classifier runs through the complete training set and calculates the distances between new observation and all other training observations. Choose k observation with the least distance, whatever the k value you have given. Find the class votes of the k neighbors and assign the class with maximum neighbors to new observation. Okay, now come your questions, Zara. Like, how, what's the distances are there, how you can identify. There are three distances normally we use it. I told you, one is Manhattan, another one is L2 Manhattan, another one is L2, and the third one is Hamming. Okay, this H Hamming is not used. Okay, the most part you are going to use, and it's always advisable, go with the L2. Okay, so there are three hyperparameters are there that you have to pass one of them. There are others are also there, but we are mostly using Euclidean distance. So what is Euclidean distance? The distance what we are going to give, that it is Euclidean distance. It's a very simple distance, like, okay, so this is the Euclidean distance. My long back we have gone through with this. Okay, suppose assume, for please spare me for my drawing. Okay, assume that it's a triangle. Okay, now your distance, this is x, this is y. Okay, base is x, height is y. Then what is the distance for the diagonal? Okay, so this is the point. Okay, and this is the point, and this is the origin, 0, 0. Okay, so this distance from 0 to this distance is x, and this distance is y, and you want to find the distance between these two. Okay, these 2 points. So it is root over x square plus y square. It's called Pythagoras theorem. If you remember, in our studies we have learned. Okay, this is the diagonal distance. So root over x square plus y square. It's nothing but is called the Euclidean distance. Given 2 points, okay, you form a triangle, okay, right angle triangle. So take the distance of those 2 points from the origin, and when you do the square root of x square y square, it's called the Euclidean distance. Okay, between 2 points. Likewise, in the data set, so when you pass the distance equal to Euclidean, the distance will be calculated root over x square and y square. This is the Euclidean distance. And again, no need to do anything, only you have to pass distance equal to Euclidean. The model will calculate. Why I was trying to explain the things, what is happening behind the model, that you should know. Once you pass the Euclidean, it is calculating the root over x square plus y square. Let me explain. One distance Euclidean is this, and the Manhattan. Okay, what it is, it will do, it's also called the city block distance. Nothing, it will add, you have to move from, look, you have to go from this point to this point. Okay, the idea is you have to go from this point to this point. one can go, this is the shortest distance one can follow, or one can follow this path also, right? He will come here, he can go here. So that is called Manhattan distance. It's nothing but mod x, means whatever the value, x equal to suppose 5, y equal to suppose 4, okay, x equal to, make it 3, y equal to 4, then Manhattan is, okay, mod x plus mod y. That means the x value, that is 3 plus 4. So if you give Manhattan, pass the Manhattan distance, nothing, it is simply adding both x and y, and it will calculate the distance between 2 points is 7. And if you go with the Euclidean, it will calculate root over 9, square of 3 equal to 9 plus 16. Okay, 9 plus 16 equal to 25. Okay, so root over of 25, it will calculate, that is 5. That's why we call it the smallest distance. Okay, if you see, you have given 2 data points, you want to find the distance, then with Euclidean and Manhattan normally we use it. Okay, whatever I told you, the same thing it is explained here. Hamming, for the time being you forget, nobody is going to use it. Okay, so there is no requirement at all in the Hamming distance. It's always advisable go with the Euclidean, okay, between 2 data points. The same way what I have told you, if you see here the x1 y1 x2 y2, then it's the distance between, for the x value, that is x2 minus x1 square and y2 minus y1 square. Manhattan, nothing but the city block distance. Okay, Manhattan from this point to this point, then this point to this point. Hamming distance, nothing, it's a majority, but generalized formula for these things I have already told you. Euclidean and Manhattan. Manhattan, nothing but it takes the, it's a city block also we call it. Okay, so the nearest neighbor k equal to 1. If you want to put it in a graph, give you the function, means it will identify like this. You see here, what we are trying to do, we are trying to separate the two classes. Okay, one is class red circle, one is class the blue circle. Okay, this is your boundary. Okay, you have put it, you have created with your model. So any point, if it lies here left, then it will be given class of the blue circle. Any point given in the right side or left side corner, then it will be given as the red circle. It's in the pictorial way they put it. So choosing k is very tricky in KNN, and choosing an appropriate k can be very tedious process. Let's understand how the k impacts the algorithm and the results. If k is chosen to be low, then the algorithm can be affected by noise in the data and the prediction can go worry. And if k is chosen very high, the distance boundaries would be smooth, but algorithm would take a lot of time to compute. Based on the above information, we see that the right balance needs to be there in order to achieve the desired results without hampering the performance of the algorithm. So if you take only k equal to 3, then what will happen? Always it will try to find only the 3 nearest points. Okay, when you give k equal to 3, so it will, the model will try to identify only 3 nearest points. Okay, based on the distances you have given, Euclidean or Manhattan, it will identify only 3. So there could be error, right? Because only 3 points it's taking, and on the basis of 3 points it's giving you the result. But if you also give suppose k equal to 99, okay, so what it will do, for every time it will identify, to identify 99 distances, it has to check the 99 distances, right? The computation is very much, time taken if you give large value of k. So the problem lies both. You have to, when you give small number, then your model is underfit. That means it is not doing well because you have not given enough the value of k. If you have given a model very high numbers, then the time taken, the time it has to go through all the distances, then identify the 99 distances, Okay, at least it has to identify 99 distances, right? It has to calculate. So the time taken for the building model is very high. The purpose of any machine learning algorithm is to have minimum validation error. We can run algorithm for every k value and see where we are getting the least validation misclassification. This matrix, I think we have seen it yesterday, the same thing, confusion matrix. The goodness of it, like told you, the true positive when the prediction is positive and the true condition is positive. Okay, true positive. Then the last quadrant, this one is the true negative. When your prediction is negative, your true condition is negative. Then this one, false negative, type 2 error. We also call it as a type 2 error, the false negative, and type 1 error is the recall. Your prediction is negative, but actually is 1. So it's called falsely negative. Okay. So this is called goodness of fit, the confusion matrix. For the time being, I will give you the same thing here. Okay. This is y pred, suppose, and this is actual y here. This is 0, this is 1, this is 0, this is 1. Then it is, the first quadrant is true negative because it's actually negative. Okay, 0, y is 0 actual, and predicted y, that is y hat, is also 0. So it's true negative. This quadrant is true positive. That is true, actually it's positive, y equal to 1 here, and you also predicting your y pred is also 1. This quadrant is, why it is false positive? This is falsely predicted positive. Actually it's negative. You see y equal to 0 here, but you are predicting your point is 1. So you are falsely predicting positive, and it is false negative. Why it is? Because actually your actual value is 1. Okay, where you are predicting a negative, that is 0 here. So that's why it's called falsely predicted negative. Only the thing you have to put in a synchronous manner, 0 1 0 1. That's enough. Okay, the same thing, it's explained here. I have also explained what is accuracy, recall, precision, F1 score yesterday. That we will going to go through all these things once again for tomorrow.
JANBAST training. Learn and grow.